Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Dudes.to.Fathers podcast. I am your host, Jacob Ortega. Again, the Dudes to Fathers podcast. Thank you so much for being here again. Thank you so much to my listeners. You guys have been awesome. The little listeners that I have, you guys have been awesome. The feedback has been great. We're gonna get into a little bit of this episode of where I've been and what's been going on. So, but before we get to that, let me get to my affiliations that I really endorse and that I really stand by. The first one being the Dad Gang Company. As you guys know, if you've seen me in the last year and a half, I'm switching out all of my hats to this. I'll wear my Rangers gear. I'll wear my Rangers hats. I've kind of been off the Dallas Cowboys bandwagon for a little while. If you know me, I grew up a diehard Dallas Cowboys fan. But with just the production since 2014, really, I've kind of just slowly been winging myself from a diehard Cowboys fan to just I watch the NFL. I'm a fan of a lot of football teams, I find that I have a lot more enjoy of that. But my point being is because I'm not just wearing the Dallas brands of things anymore, or the Dallas Cowboys brands of things anymore. I'm putting on brands that I feel that are associated to my life more. And these days, and my values that I stand for, and like the things that I like a lot more. Not that I don't like football or anything more, but Rangers and baseball, if you know me, are a big part of the family. And I love football growing up and everything. I love the Dallas Cowboys, but my interest has just changed. And with the way that Jerry Jones and all those things go, it's hard to be a Dallas Cowboys fan when everything's just so damn expensive to not be producing. So I'm not wasting my money anymore. Point being is, Dad Gang. This is a company that I am not wasting my money on, but really invested behind and enjoy the brand, enjoy the name of what they're doing. Each hat that I get is very exciting. Even when I buy it for my own self or my wife buys me a hat, I really love them. They just partnered with Alex Verdugo, whose hat line dropped on October 1st. Surprisingly enough, they are still available by the time this episode hits the internet and across your ears. Hopefully that there are still some of those hats available. Very cool collaboration Dad Gang did with New York Yankees. And he released two hats, actually. One is red and green, and the other one is navy blue. The navy blue one obviously tied to the Yankee ties and all that stuff, and then the red and green one is just representation of his Mexican heritage as he plays on the Mexico international team and stuff like that. So it's just really cool. I'm not a big Yankees fan, but I do support the culture, and I'm just supporting especially the Hispanic wave of like getting our representation out there right now. So that's really where I'm coming from, honestly, is helping out support baseball. I missed out on the Mookie Betts hat. I just didn't have the funds at the time to get me that one, so I told myself the next time a baseball collaboration would come out, I would definitely hop on it. We got two hats. They're on the way. I got mine. And shout out to Cousin Tony in El Paso for ordering some as well and dropping the link in the shout out on Instagram. I appreciate that, Cousin Tony. But it's a really cool partnership that they've been working on for a little while, and it finally released October 1st. So if you want to get you one, if your family member's a Yankees fan, you guys know Alex Verdugo, or you guys just want to get something that's cool to support Mexican heritage and stuff like that as well, I recommend definitely getting online, checking these hats out. And they do come in two sizes, actually. They have the regular 7 to 7 3/4, and then they have the extra large fit, because some of you dads out there, not that you're big guys, but you put in the muscle work, and you guys got back muscle, head muscle, and stuff like that. You got thick heads. So, and I accidentally ordered one that was an extra large hat, and I gave it to a buddy of mine, and man, he was like, dude, thank you, because he's like, I don't think I have a big head, but then I put that hat on, and it fit me the way that I wanted to. And he's a big dude, he is a big guy. And he was like, but you know what, thanks for that hat, because it actually fits like I like it. He's like, I don't wear it that often, but when I do wear it, he's like, I appreciate the fit. He's just not a hat guy, that's why. But so for the big bodybuilders out there, the big guys in general that are just big and large, apparently the extra large fit, it's a good fit. So check those out for those guys. Enter promo code Jacob90781 at checkout for 15% off. And that'll be off of all of the hats, not just the ones that have been on there. It'll be the hats as well that are the release like this one too. So be on the lookout, because they are the Dad Gang has been hinting that they're going to release some holiday things. They did give us an orange and black one that I'm super excited about because my son's birthday is on Halloween. So I'm totally into all the orange and black these days. So I'm really excited to see about what those are going to look like. Well, he's already shown us the orange and black ones, but he said holidays. You know, there's a couple more holidays at the end of the year. So we'll get a Christmas combo or anything. But if not, I will be wearing my red and green one that Alex Verdugo dropped because it's Christmas colors, Mexican pride, you know, and so at the very least I do have a Christmas hat this year. But also, just in case you guys don't know, like maybe your husbands, maybe your brothers or something are fans of this stuff, but like it's one of the most popular brands out there right now that's up and coming, and shout out to those guys over there for really producing a product that is amazing. But it's so amazing, in fact, that again they did a collaboration with Mookie Betts. Juan Soto has been seen wearing them. Alex Verdugo has actually been seen wearing the original blue horsepower hat, and like he's been with them since like he's been a fan of them since they dropped their first hats, and has really been a fan of them. But if you live here in the DFW area specifically, you know that Dak Prescott, Luka, and Post Malone have all been seen wearing the pink horsepower hat because we're all girl dads, and shout out to girl dads. Nothing like being a girl dad. I love it. But, you know, that's one of the most popular hats right now. And then they finally released, this year, the horsepower baby blue for all the new dads that are getting for the fathers out there that are having sons as well. They finally got this one, as I finally had a son. I thought I was only going to have that hat. I do get to rock the baby blue these days, not just for fun, but because I actually have a son. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, so just be on the lookout. Again, I think they make great holiday presents, great Father's Day, great any time you want to get them something and you're not sure what to get them. Any of these combos that you see, you know, are favorites that people love, and so yeah, check them out. Definitely check them out if you haven't heard of them. The other brand that I am affiliated with and that I really like are these smacking sunflower seeds. I really love the taste. I'm a sunflower seed person. You know, for me, doing podcasts and all this stuff seems so natural to me because if I'm not doing something with my mouth, I feel like I'm fidgeting or I'm doing something else. But like, I always have a lollipop, I have a mint, I have gum, toothpicks, the stick from the lollipop, sunflower seeds. I always have to have something in my mouth because I always thought growing up that because I got in trouble a lot for talking, so I figured if my mouth was doing something else, I could control my talking by diverting the energy that I am having other places. So I've always been like a mouth person. I've always had like a mouth fixation, I guess you could say, with just keeping busy, with keeping my mouth busy. So with that being said too, I love sunflower seeds, peanuts and stuff like that, especially going to all the baseball games that we go to. Love my sunflower seeds. With that being said, you know, I didn't realize until I tried these, the main thing for me is that I don't get as thirsty when I eat these as I have with other seeds, just because of the high sodium content. And we know those other brands that we've all grown up with and stuff like that. But, you know, I really got to say that this brand, not only is the flavor a delicious flavor, this cracked pepper blew my mind. Actually, I wasn't expecting it to be like that. The pepper is obviously very peppery, but it's a nice spice that I don't mind. And I actually will mix that in with the garlic parmesan. I'll put like a little bit together in my hands and put them together so I get a little spicy garlic parmesan kick. It's delicious, to be honest. And then the churro ones right here, the cinnamon churros ones are amazing flavor. Honestly, I wasn't expecting the flavor to be so on point, to be honest. It is a little different, guys. Like we gotta be, it's a little different than an actual cinnamon churro, but it's really close. It's really flavorful. It's a real nice sweet when you want something healthy, but like you don't know what. You don't want to just down some chocolate. You don't want to just down some cookies, but you still have a sweet kick. Yo, that's a good sweet kick right there, and I really like it. And again, it keeps the mouth busy, and it got good protein per serving and stuff like that, as most sunflower seeds do. But again, the flavor palette that hits on these, and the fact that I'm not as thirsty because the sodium content, they're not pounding it with salt on these seeds, is amazing. Of course, the sea salt and all that stuff is really good, but I really like these. I really like this, and the barbecue and the garlic parmesan are really good flavors, the really fun flavors of mine. I love them, to be honest. And so do my kids. My daughters love them as well. So if you ever want to try these, give them a try. At checkout at Smackin' Sunflower Seeds, you get 10% off. Promo code, use DTF Pod 24. at checkout to save 10%. And yeah, guys, try them out. They did just drop a new ranch and buffalo ranch. I'm not sure if the buffalo ranch is still able to buy by themselves, but I believe you can get them in the sample pack. But the ranch, oh my God, so buttery, so creamy, and it's just really good. So guys, check them out. I know you've seen, especially a lot of you guys, I'm pretty sure these have come up in your algorithms and stuff over the year and stuff like that as they've been released, but they really are good. Sure, they're a little more costly than the thing you would buy at the gas station, but you're buying a good flavor, you're supporting a good brand, and honestly, you're putting your money where you want to put it into, which is something that you think will be good for you, and it's delicious. Not that it's good for you, but it's good for your mouth. It's delicious. Love them. Check them out. Sunflower seed, smackinsunflowerseeds.com, promo code DTFpod24 at checkout for 10% off. Now, again, thank you for being here with me, and thank you for helping me get through that stuff. So, couple of things that have been going on, nothing major. So let me rewind and retract how that sounded. But just a couple of things going on. First off, wife does t-shirts. She does custom t-shirts, and so she made me this. This one will not be available, but I am going to put some things up for sale. I mean, I might put this one up for sale if you just want to support me and you're a really good friend of mine and you just like the topic, the podcast and stuff like that. I guess I'll put this up on the website that we're going to do as well. But I have a couple of shirts that the wife and I have just made for the family we don't do them for sale, but I just thought, maybe a couple of you guys, maybe some of you families out there might like the ideas that we put. So I'm going to put them up online, and so you guys can enjoy those too and help support us, help support the podcast, and get original kind of shirts that we've just made, again, for the family holidays, birthday parties, grandmas and stuff like that. I'll be linking those to my podcast links and stuff soon when I get that stuff up and running. But yeah, just that stuff's coming, just to let you know. One of the things of where I've been is I've kind of been brainstorming on those kinds of things. But another thing is kind of restructuring. As you can see, I have a handy dandy notepad, Blue's Clues, if you know, you know. I have a handy dandy notebook here for my my Post-its or my note cards like Club Shay Shay. Just because I ramble, I talk. I got to be able to come back to points so that I can keep the podcast more focused, more aligned, and not just so unscripted. Yes, I like unscripted, but that way there's a little bit of structure in that in those conversations and stuff like that. So, and then I also carry my red book. This goes everywhere with me as well, so that as I get ideas, questions, things like that, I just jot them down. Things I want to ask people, potential guest list. This is kind of goes with me everywhere, just so that in case I'm brainstorming and I have a thought, I can just write it down so that I can write notes on it and bring it back to you guys for a better, well-rounded, more restructured podcast. So just wanted to address that. Something that I have been working on because, so one of the reasons that I've been gone a little while is because there are two reasons, and each reason has a several points to it. But the first being is that it was brought to my attention that I had spoke on a story, on an experience, on a conversation that I had with a friend about their relationship and how they were doing in life, just kind of catching up. And I accidentally mentioned the person on the podcast and put that person's business out there, and I didn't mean to in that way, in a negative tone, because I feel that I didn't. However, said person was sent a clip of of what I said about them, especially because I said a name. So it was easy for somebody to go back and clip it and send it to you. And hey, I'm sorry if it came off a certain way. Again, we spoke about it and we cleared the air about it. And so it was cool, but it's cool now. But I didn't realize that it would be so bad putting somebody's name out there like that for a good story or a bad story, right? What I might think is a good story for this, might affect somebody's life. I'm learning to try to keep the people's names and stuff out of it, because while I thought it was a good story or a bad story, what I thought was a good story, kind of affected this person, as this person has their own life going on, and it's not, again, it wasn't talking ill will to said person. It just, I shouldn't have said person's name and situation and that, but we cleared the air, we spoke about it, but addressing that, I did have an issue, and it took me a while, and this is kind of what beat me down, was because first off, again, I didn't think that I was hurting anybody by talking about a conversation that went on in my life, but also I just can't take all the conversations that I have in my life as like usable content, maybe change names, or like I'm doing now, just he, or just instead of he, she, just they and them and those people and stuff like that. And so just to keep people safe and still be able to get my point across of what I'm trying to talk about. I don't need to say names. I don't need to, right? So no need to come up with fake names or stuff like that. Just those people, that person at that time, or if I am, that lady, that man, there's no need to put an individual's name out there. So again, that kind of bogged me down, and it just weighed on me because I was confused. I was confused on if I was being in trouble, because the way that the person told me was in a very like a teacher talking down to a student, kind of like, not talking down to, but like a teacher talking to a younger student, like, hey, someone's always watching. Hey, be careful what you say out there. And like the beat around, like, I get it, but also like it made me feel bad because of how I was being spoken to. Not that the person meant that as well, right? But it was just like in the situation, how it was brought about, I just felt bad. And I was confused because I felt like I was doing something bad. I felt like this conversation right here might be bad if I couldn't get my stories out. But again, like we just spoke about, I've thought of other ways around that, right? Second part to that is that this person we are friends. We're lifelong friends. We've been friends for a very long time. And I didn't know what to respond when the person told me that they were sent the clip of what I said about them, because I thought that, like, as a friend, while we're not close like we used to be, that like if something like this popped up, a project or something like that popped up, I reach out to friends if I see something. Not that I'm on like Facebook or Instagram that much. I'm starting to be more on Instagram, but like I'm seeing things, I comment, I'll reach out, I'll text somebody like, hey, I think that's really cool, dude, keep it up, stuff like that. I heard something you put out there, keep it up, and so it kind of rubbed me a weird way that like my friend was sent a clip instead of just supporting me, and like took out what I said maybe out of context because they didn't hear the entirety of the conversation to know where I was going with that. And still salute to you. I still salute that person because I respect what they're doing, where they're at in life right now. And I'm just so happy for that person. But, again, it just made me feel a certain way because I didn't know, like, am I in trouble? Are we still friends? Like that, and because, like, again, like, you're not really supporting me. Not that I'm asking all of you to support me in any way, or like that you need to listen to my podcast or anything like that. But, it just kind of hurt. It just kind of hurt to know that, like, you didn't even hear, to my knowledge, that you didn't even hear the entirety of it. And then thirdly, of the person that sent it to said person, it was kind of scary, right? Like, I'm a nobody. This is just what I think is a fun podcast to put out there to help educate and share experiences and just kind of pass wisdom and knowledge around to other adults and other parents to be, just to prepare themselves, right? And so it was kind of scary that somebody sent somebody else a clip of mine when I feel I'm a nobody. But I mean, I guess there is somebody always listening, good or bad. But to that person that went out of their way to listen and try to construe a situation, whatever, hey, thank you so much for being a listener, and thank you for sharing my clip. Any publicity is good publicity, as they say. And I don't feel, now that I've gone back and I've had time to reflect on that situation, I don't feel as if it was a bad situation in general. So I feel better about it. And if that person was really trying to like incite something, or hey, we're already not friends, I guess, so hey, thanks for your support, and I hope you're listening whenever you become a parent. Take some notes. So appreciate it all the way around, all the support. And to cap that story off, was that confusion, that being like, man, am I doing the right thing? I have this hanging behind me, not just because I'm a diehard Rangers fans, and shout out to all my Ranger fans out there. Shout out to the World Series 2023 World Series champion Texas Rangers. Waited 30 years for that moment, and it was beautiful to have all my kids there. My wife, who is a Yankee fan but grew up here and really loves Texas Rangers baseball, and we just love baseball as well. My wife grew up a pitcher. I grew up playing the outfield and stuff like that. So it was really fun to have all of that moment come back around, and our kids that have played softball and liking baseball to have that World Series victory and finally have it done before our next adventures. And anyways, so I have this hanging behind me though, because this is one of the World Series giveaways that they gave out at the gate this year. If you're one of the so many fans, you got this jersey for free, and it's the Road Series one from when we went 11-0 on the road last year. Great record to have, an amazing flex to have as a World Series champion. But I pair it with that hat, or I have the inverse of that hat, the blue with the black. And I love that hat. I love wearing that. I love wearing that combo to the Rangers game, because again, like, baseball is such a big deal in our lives and our families' lives that going to so many games, you run into people, especially me. People are always watching, right? Never know who's watching. And to that point, I never knew who was watching. And one of these events and going to Rangers games, ran into a pair of sisters that I grew up with really well. And I just love them. And I still feel bad for what happened with their parents. I accidentally burped in the house, and it was a whole thing. Their parents still hate me, and I still feel really bad about that, guys. But that being said, the older sister that we're cool on a different level because we're older, and then me and her younger sister are cool on a different level because we were in school a little bit longer together. And we kind of had the same realm of friends and stuff like that. The older sister had like her own kind of friends, but we knew each other. And so, she's a parent now as well. And I went to the game, got the giveaway, and me and my buddy KG, Kevin Garibay, shout out to KG. We were walking to our seats or going to get a beer or something, and we run into the sisters and their husbands, and man, we're sitting there talking, catching up, and the older sister leans into me and she's like, "Hey, I heard your podcast." And I was like, "Oh my God, what? You heard my podcast?" Like, first off, we're friends, yes, but like, we haven't spoken in, like, not that we haven't spoken in several years, but we just haven't spoken in a while, and we keep up with each other, like, likes here, likes there on social media and stuff like that, but like, we haven't really spoken. And so she leaned in and was like, "Hey, I listened to your podcast. Like, it was." Not that it's really good, but she's like, "I like the content. I like what you're doing. Like, keep doing what you're doing." And then another buddy reached out to mine and was like, "Hey, I heard I heard it. It's really great. I love the message. When can I be on it?" And so and then another buddy saw posts on Instagram, and I haven't gotten back to him actually because of just restructuring and everything like that. I didn't want to put him on a wait list or anything like that, or keep pushing things back and kind of lying to him about things. But, did reach out and was like, "Hey, I'd like to be on there for the things that I've been through. I'd like to talk about it and pass that knowledge on so you can talk to kids about it, what this situation's really like, and that's cool." And I really, really appreciate the feedback, guys. And it helped motivate me to get back into to restructuring, taking notes, and making sure that I put pen to paper and asked a chair to get this stuff recorded, because it's really important, guys. Or at least that I think that it's important to help pass this knowledge down to our sons and our daughters. Again, I kind of hated him growing up, Coach Izar, at a certain point, but the mantra that he spoke to us, be better men, better husbands, and better fathers. And, I really try to strive to do that and break generational curses that exists. We all have them, right? My wife and I have them. You guys out there have them in some way, shape, or form, in some facet. It presents itself to itself, and you realize, like, dang, that's the same thing that happened to my parents. But why? Because we're not talking and we're not passing down the knowledge of what happened, so that those situations could be avoided and we can move on and have better futures and like better generations and pass those things down. So, that's where that comes from, and just so, I was just really ecstatic and really thrown off by when she said that, and it just put the biggest smile on my face. And Kevin heard it as well and was like, "Dude, he was like, 'Man, I told you, like, dude, you need to get back on that horse.'" Here I am. I'm back riding, guys. In the second situation, I can't get too deep into what happened. It's nothing that involves me, nothing that involves my family or anything like that, but he is family. A really good friend of mine. We grew up fathers together and stuff like that. Had a situation that kind of happened to him and put him in the hospital for a while, and it was really scary, to be honest, because It's not one of those things that can happen to anybody, but it kind of is. If you're in a world that deals with those things, like, it's a situation that can happen to anybody. So it was one of those just freaky moments that caught life by surprise. And he's better. He is well. We're living. We're thriving. We're focused on the future and stuff like that. Sound like a quarterback after a loss. We're going to review film. We're going to take the time to learn about what happened here, and we're just going to trust in each other to move on. Sorry, Dallas Cowboys are funny. But yeah, no. So that kind of both of those situations just kind of put me in a funk, and I kind of just took the summer, kind of thought things over, see, is this worth it? Is this not worth it? And stuff like that. But honestly, what brings me back to it is really putting out the message of, like, dad gang, and putting out stories that I think are funny and relatable, that might not happen to you, but maybe happen to your sister or your brother or something, or might happen to you, because kids are kids, man. You never know. And so I just want to kind of catch you guys up on, like, where I've been. And, again, so in restructuring the podcast, moving forward from those things, I will be using notepads. Please send me any questions on Instagram. I really want to do a child support episode soon, and really delve into what people think child support is, what people questions people have about child support in general, and people that have had it good and bad through child support systems. Like, I would love to have a several part episode on that. So if you've ever had any questions, or if you're curious about the child support system, or you're worried about what could happen if you enter somebody's name or you don't, let's send me those questions on Instagram, or hit me up on Facebook, I guess, if you're a friend of mine and you know you where to find me. If you have my number, text me. But just restructuring things like that, because I want to be better. So when I bring you said podcast episodes, they're really thought through. If they're long, you're going to sit down and waste some of your time listening to this, or putting it in, or watching this. That it's not going to be a complete waste of your time. And I do hope to bring a good story and educate you as well. So I'm looking into just other ways to be organized and make sure that those get brought to you. I am working on getting other interviews done soon. I have, of the people that we've spoken with already, 3 of them lives have changed already, and so we need to catch up. We need to loop back around and talk to those people, because things have happened, and so it'd be nice to catch up on those and see where it goes from there. But also, what I'm going to be doing in what I've realized I want to do after the restructure phase is a little bit more of this, a little bit more one-on-one talk, because obviously, I'm in a house by myself right now, but I'm not one of those people that, like, I can't do this. Like, I think it's weird not to talk, or I think it's weird to talk about I can literally sit here and have a conversation. So I think I'm going to have a lot of more one-on-one talks with you guys, just to get some of my thoughts out, some of the deeper things that I think I want to get to, or that I don't want interruptions with. I might do a little bit more on one-on-one things, and then maybe link other interviews and stuff like that. But just so I can get in and get out, especially too, if I can keep these episodes between 20 and 40 minutes, 30 and 50 minutes, something like that, individual episodes with no guests, I think that'd be cool. But really, I'm kind of aiming for, like, the 30-minute mark, 40-minute mark for the individual episodes, so that they're in, they're out, and straight to the point. Because dads, we got shit to do. We got things to do. My bad. Let's see. Okay, and so another thing that I've been working on and been thinking about is I want to add a segment specifically for advice to, like, things that I have found, tips, tricks, crafts of the trade, of the dad trade, things like that, knowledge that's been passed around from other dads from dads to other dads and stuff like that. I want to call it dadvice. And so I am working on bringing that. I just don't know if to put it in a standalone episode and maybe do 3 to 5 things of advice at a time and speak on those things, or just kind of have, like, 5-minute segments at the beginning and end of my podcast of like a tip of the day, advice of the day, dad advice of the day, so any feedback on that would be cool. Anything that you would like to see, things you would like to advice on, again, hit me up on Instagram. That's probably the best way to find me. Dudes.to.Fathers pod on Instagram. It's going to be the easiest way to find me. So check that out and send me any questions, because I'd love to see what things, especially people that aren't parents yet, what kind of things they're worried about and things that are going on in their life and stuff like that. So I think that'd be really cool. Another thing that I want to do that I've thought about with the restructuring of the podcast is that, like, I have a lot of stories these days, and since I have a lot of stories these days, I'd like to open or close with a story, whether it be funny, whether it be sad, something I want you to think on that was angry, like something that could really incite anger in you, but because I want you to think on it, not just because I want to make you angry, but things because the scenario, it could be very infuriating. We might want to talk about those stories just to leave cliffhangers and leave you thinking. I want to start, but I do think I want to have more funny than serious stories at the end of them, as the topics themselves can be a little bit more serious in general. So it's just something I'd like to start with, and whether I have a guest on or not, I'd definitely love to hear a funny story, because as parents, you guys know, we always, and what we didn't think was funny at the time, like getting peed on or thrown up on or running out of diapers, like whatever we think not running out of diapers, running out of wipies, not having the wipies, that's an even better one. Have forgot them on the bed and being at Walmart and there's just a blowout. What do you do? So we've all been there. If you have kids at any point, we've all been there. And so I just think that those stories are funny and relatable. And because on your bad day, you'll know that, like, dang, this is funny. It's not funny. This sucks, but it happens. It's a part of life. Like, so you don't feel so bad in those scenarios. Sorry, guys. A lot of thoughts sometimes go through my head. And so, that's kind of all the kind of behind the scenes things that I wanted to clear up. But as of these days, it's been about 6 months since I put out a podcast, 5 or 6 months now since I put out a podcast, and we've had some changes. We've the two olds. So the way that my kids are structured, they're like stairs. I have I have a 13-year-old. In 3 weeks, I will have in 4 weeks actually, and I have a 13-year-old, and in 4 weeks I will have a 12-year-old. I have a 6-year-old, and then in 3 weeks we'll have a 4-year-old. So we have them in pairs, and we'll get into talking about pairs. Liliana, having babies in pairs works, helps you out a lot. But we'll get into that. But just to kind of catch you up on things, so we refer to the two older ones as the bigs, and then the other ones as the littles. They know if we say bigs, the first two come. If we say littles, you just hear tick, 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 yeah, yes, coming. So it literally, that's how we talk about them. It's not a code name for them. That's how it is. So with that being said, the bigs have started school, and they're in a new school. We took them out of Williams Prep because fuck Williams Preparatory. Hard on that, actually. For the last 3 or 4 years, there's just been a lot of back and forth with leadership being changed, administration being changed. Serious incidents have occurred at school in the last 2 to 3 years. A lot more lockdowns. My kids have left campus because nobody was watching. The gate was closed, they say, but what about that bar missing from that metal fence that children can literally squeeze through? To prove the point, I walked through it, and I was like, I'm not a child. I'm the height of most of these children, and most of these children are taller than me. But to the point, I'm a lot thicker than these children and stuff like that. I fit clear as day through this opening, and whether it was a gated school or not, you know, our kids, and not just my kids. When I say our kids, like if my kids go there, like all of our parents' kids, right? So like our kids at Williams were just leaving, and admin was saying it's okay because the fence was on and stuff like that, but the cameras weren't being watched. The people weren't doing their jobs, like walking around and making sure that and things are being repaired as such, because that became the whole thing as well. Getting into it with the principals, having kids blamed for other things because they didn't want to do the due diligence to look into certain investigations when things were brought, not just with my kids, with other kids. Williams Preparatory, actually at the end of the year on Telemundo and stuff like that, if you guys saw, there was a clip circulating about this girl getting jumped at the same school that my daughter went to, where they alleged that bullying was not going on. But 2 weeks before that, we were in the office for bullying. The only reason it came to unfortunately, like the Diddy situation, is because there was a video about it. The only reason they even reached out to me after 2 weeks of bantering back and forth and them sending derogatory messages back home to my kids to tell us is because there was video. Like, after all the back and forth and stuff like that, video came out, and guess what? All new admin again this year. That principal that wanted to talk mess and, oh, I'm from Chicago. I've been teaching longer than you've been alive, sir. Don't talk to me like that. But the reality is, sir, you don't have my kid's best interest at heart like you say you did, because there was clear as day bullying going on, and nobody cared. Honestly, nobody cared, because it was easier to just be like, and teachers said, oh, that kid's a crybaby. Oh, that kid, yeah, we'll see about that kid. Oh, he's a bad apple. So not only are these teachers talking amongst themselves to where other students can hear what they're saying, they also know who is who, and they're just like completely ignoring it because, you know what, that's not my problem. Williams gave us a big deal. I don't think we ever actually got our transcripts leaving because they make it so hard. It's like canceling a gym membership. You try to go and they pass you to the next person. And then that person was like, we'll email you about it. Then they were like, oh, well, we have actually unregistered your kids so that they're not going to be here yet. All summer, I shit you not, at least once a day, either me or the wife were getting a call about, hey, you haven't re-enrolled yet. Hey, we haven't re-enrolled yet. After telling them, the nurse, the admin, the administration office, the principals, when we saw them, when we had these conversations with both the middle and the elementary school principals, told all of them we were not coming back before the school year ended. In April of last year, they sent out emails asking if they're going to come back. We said no. And then we got hit with all that stuff, and they were still blowing us up. Like, dude, fuck this school, man. Like, and then they made it so hard leaving to get our transcripts that when our daughters moved schools, I believe just the bigs had to test to see where they were. And then the first 3 weeks of school for them, because while their test scores reflected certain things, once they were in those schools or in that classroom, it was almost clear as day that Williams Prep is fraud as hell, because everything that they were saying that they were learning, when they got to public school, normal public school, their comprehension was kind of lower than it should have been. Certain words that were like, why don't you know what that means? Like, you're in 7th and 8th grade. Like, now at this point, and then now my other one's in 6th grade. Like, how do you not know what that means? Like, well, I thought I kind of knew what it meant, but I guess I didn't know what that meant. Like, where did we send you to school then? And like the ways that they were doing math and stuff like that. Like, I know there's a bunch of different ways to learn how to do math these days, and I get it. But now that they're over here, it's like, yeah, the geometry you thought you knew was like, it's not geometry. We're going to put you in normal math because you don't really know that stuff yet. It was just weird. And so like we've switched schools since then. You know, I used to think that Williams Preparatory when we first got there was a good one. And specifically it was, but then it became we just need the numbers. And so where it was a lotto system and a privilege to be accepted into those school systems, I've noticed that all the uplift schools are in low income neighborhoods. Now, nothing wrong with that, and nothing wrong with the kids needing a school, nothing wrong with any of that. But it used to be built up on merit and taking the best of the best. And then, for instance, where my girls went to school is they just started taking everybody from the neighborhoods that lived there, when it used to be a privilege to have to kind of travel to it to get to school because of what we thought was the curriculum and all that stuff was better. And it turns out that they're kind of frauds. And yes, you do have real teachers there with real degrees and stuff like that. But then, I was looking at applying for certain jobs there, and all I have is an associate's in science. That's it. And some military experience and some experience with kids and stuff like that growing up. But like, I'm not anybody to be working in a school necessarily, other than like a janitor or a food person. And there were like positions that like I was kind of looking to apply for, because like, why not? You guys obviously hire anybody. Obviously I didn't. I'm a courier driver and I do podcasting now. But yeah, so Williams was not a waste of time, but Williams is ass. And the Uplift preparatory schools, not all of them, but do your due diligence on them in North Dallas and Dallas in general, in the city of Dallas. If you're moving here, if you're thinking about it, like, yes, they're good programs, but you're going to spend a lot of money on uniforms, a lot of random days of like volunteering, and 2 days short notice of like your kid needs to be here for a grade. If not, they fail. And if you're okay with that stuff, I mean, that stuff's like, again, like I thought some of the activities and stuff were pretty basic. And honestly, like, if you have a good public school around you, just send your kids to public school, to be honest. Like, it's not worth the hassle you're going to go through at Williams for the things that they need and require, and they're taking and nickel and diming it out of you, So just do your due diligence on where you're moving, do your due diligence on the education system and what's being provided and what's offered around you, and make your best bets, guys. Most of us listening, or most of the people right now listening that are friends, acquaintances, people that know me and stuff like that, we grew up in DISD, and honestly, like anything but, DISD has really turned a page. It's really putting, I'm not a student there anymore, but like WT White looks completely different these days, right? A lot of these high schools, and not just because it was completely destroyed, but like what they redid for TJ, Walnut Hill, and Cary over there on that corner, it looks great. Like, DISD is really trying to put their money where their mouth is and revamping these schools, bringing them more up to date with technology and code, for that matter. In some of these schools, and with code, like giving us actually AC and heater when the season that it's required, not just the opposite. God, when the heater would be on in the summer time, those first couple of days of school, man, come on, DISD. But like, again, that was back in the day. I can say that now. We've flipped a page, and DISD, I feel like, is really putting their money where their mouth is, and trying to really give back to the students, because they know there's so many kids that they can't do certain things, but they really are trying. And that's another thing, parents, if you want your kids to have certain attention and you want them to get certain things, look at the size of the school and think about how many kids are in that district. That really matters about what's going to happen in the education level and the attention that they're going to get right now. My 6-year-old class was supposed to have like so many students. There's only 9 kids in there. It's amazing. She loves her new class as well, because she was at Williams, so she came to a new elementary as the girls were leaving, and we took them all out. And they're all over here in the Carrollton system now. Love the Carrollton Farmers Branch school system. It's nice, guys, and it's I feel like they really put their money back into the kids, into the district and stuff like that. And again, the classroom that my daughter has, my 6-year-old daughter in first grade, has a 9-kid classroom. What? That's unheard of in DISD. They're 20 kids deep. 25 kids deep, 30 kids deep. I think my oldest at one time at Withers had like 22 kids or 25 kids, some random like that, and like one teacher and a teacher's aide like every other month kind of thing. It was weird, man, and like I felt bad for that teacher, but that's what we're asking these people to do by not spreading out our kids and staying in this overpriced city that is Dallas. So just do your due diligence, guys, because moving our kids, we've seen a great change and a great response to their academics, a great response to just them, their livelihoods. Like, they were kind of miserable at the end of their time here because of all the weight and the surrounding noise and just the way the teachers were acting. Not even like the endangerment of the things that were going on, just the things in the classroom. They're just kind of miserable to go to school. Kids are thriving right now. They're doing great, all because we did our due diligence and made a good move and made a good lateral move to put, and we feel like they're in a good spot to succeed right now. The summer was great. You know, the kids went to Houston for a month. It was only supposed to be for 2 weeks, their normal week to 2 weeks. They were gone for a month, guys. It was crazy. Me and the wife didn't know what to do, to the point that like even the son was like, "Where are my girls? I'm bored. I need somebody to fight with. I need to bother somebody." Like he started crying for them because he's only 3. He's gonna be 4. So he was like, "Where are my girls?" Like even because the youngest one went that time too, up until a couple of weeks beforehand. You know, she didn't know if she wanted to go because of you know, she's 6. She hadn't been away yet. She hadn't done a trip yet. But then was like, "Oh, the sisters are going. I think I can make that trip." And so, man, she got there and didn't look back. Did not look back. We had to rip her out of it. She cried to come home because she didn't want to come home. So it was a great experience for her. The wife and I went to El Paso and had a great time with the family for a wedding and anniversary, or a birthday and anniversary. Sorry. And got to catch up with them over the summer, and it was really nice. Drove the minivan with just me, the wife, and the son. It was great. Had all the space in the back, all the stuff. He was super, super chill the whole time because he could just roam about the cabin. And man, it was a cool weekend. It was definitely and shout out to everybody in El Paso. Love you guys. Can't wait to see you again soon. I know we've been talking about it, but we'll see you again soon. Man, it was nice for us. And then, yeah, we just took the summer to kind of just prepare and get everything ready for school, and while they were gone, you know, we got their shoes and some of their new clothes and stuff like that they were going to need, because they went from wearing uniforms for 7 years to being able to wear whatever they wanted, which has been pretty cool. And so it's been a really nice turnaround. And let's see. Oh, great. Yep. And then the other thing on the note about growing up and moving on. So I love the littles, the youngest little, or not the youngest little, the youngest girl of mine. I love her teeth. I think she has one of the most beautiful smiles ever. I just love her face. God, I just love my cupcake. She's so cute. I love her so much. But again, her teeth, her little vampires. I thought they were so cool. I wanted her to bite me so that I could go and get it tattooed before she lost her teeth. Because I just thought, again, the way that her face was and everything, I just loved it, and I thought it was so cute. Turns out apparently tattoo artists can't do that. I didn't realize that you couldn't do that, but it makes sense. Okay, but I guess I could have had her bite down like on a mold or something, or like on a paper or something, and like so where he could have traced. I don't know. I guess there could have been other ways, but. And I say there could have been because she has officially lost her first tooth, and the second one next to it is coming. The bottoms, like, you know, they're starting to fall already. And so, but I mean, she's 6 1/4 now, I guess. Her birthday's in June, almost 6 1/2 now. So yeah, like, life happens, man, and it sucks. That's my baby. And, you know, we're done having babies. So like, I really wanted to enjoy those last moments, and keep it forever. But some things, you know, you grow out of, or some things they grow out of, and you just have to, and that's why they're memories, and you just look back and you cry about them, and you enjoy the memories when they're happening. Because a lot of the times we tend to forget. Life moves too fast, and we forget to slow down and really, really relish those moments, whether they're good, bad. But like watching our kids grow up, like, you know, sometimes we just get caught up in working 2 and 3 jobs in Dallas because the economy is so high here now, and wanting to have free time and wanting to have alone time with the wife and wanting to do things with the kids, but everything costs money here, and so you're always trying to work so that you can provide a good memory. But in reality, man, just take the moments to just sit back, relax, and watch them grow. And don't wipe off those fingerprints too fast off your things, okay? Because once they're gone, they're gone. They're never going to be that small again. So really hang on to those moments. And but yeah, things have been good. You know, baby boy is going to be 4 on October. We're working on his birthday party right now. We got a pretty big lot, so anybody listening want to show up to the birthday party, we're going to have a bounce house and just activities and games, like a Halloween themed day party kind of thing like that at the house. So anybody want to show up, you know, show up. We're going to be throwing it down. Ya sabes, you know, we're Mexican. But other than that, yeah, guys, I just wanted to take the time to catch you up on things that have been happening. That's really what's been going on. As of me and the wife, I'm a courier still. The wife's still a stay-at-home mom, enjoying it, but she's ready, looking for work as well. But she is doing custom tees, so if anybody wants anything, please reach out to me, and I will pass you along my wife's info. I will be showing you some of the tees that I'll be wearing some of the tees that she's made me as I podcast, and literally I do wear these out in public all the time. This one I don't, because it just says Dudes to Fathers, and I thought it just DTF in public might be weird, so I am gonna add like a podcast on the bottom so people know it's a shirt. But I might also give these to like my guests, so to have afterwards and stuff like that, just as a thank you for having me, and here's something for allowing me to be in your space and take that knowledge from you. And maybe you wear it, maybe you don't, but just something to have for the people, stuff like that. I'm working on some other designs that I want to do with the wife. We're working on some things right now for Halloween, fall, Christmas things. We love our fall. We love the last quarter of the year. I mean, who doesn't, right? I'm sure most of us do. Unless something tragic has happened in your life, like most of us really tend to love the last quarter of the year. But yeah, the wife's working on that really heavily, and she really enjoys it. Again, she does cake pops and soon to be tamales. We're working on those things. So if you guys want anything like that, I know everybody does their tamales. Everybody, hey, no harm, no foul to us. We're just, just trying to keep busy, and we figured we like these things. We might as well put them out in the world too. And if you want to buy some, cool, we have some. So that's just a little bit about that. And just from here on out, just trying to working on being more consistent with the topics that I bring you. Being more consistent on how I bring you the podcast and the information and the order, and then in a timely manner. So I thank you guys for being here today. It's been great, and I hope that you all stay safe, and remember to drink your water, and please keep your head on a swivel. It's a dangerous world out there right now, and not that we need to hide from it, guys, but just stay safe. And when I say that, I truly mean that to all of you guys. Stay safe, drink your water, and keep your head on the swivel. Bye, guys. Love you.